May the Most High Creator bless us. First off, I want y'all to give thanks, and let us give thanks and praise. Alright? We made it to see another sunrise and a sunset and a moonrise and a moonset. There are two movies, there's certain things that they put it in the movies that are facts. A lot of movies, but two in particular I want to get into. The first one is, a lot of people think that Jupiter's Ascending, the movie Jupiter Ascending, is fake. Particularly the part where it's a lot of politics involved in different factions of different higher technology beings, running over the world and the earth. Certain parts of that I'm going to get into. The other one is the movie Guardians of the Galaxy, the one when he met his father. When the main guy, he met his father, and they had that technology where it was like an egg with a window, and it moved swiftly with no sound. And then after it hovered right above the ground, and it let out like this long ladder, and they came out. That is real. All right, I'm going to explain something even further about that. I consider myself a traveler, like I said. My soul. I'm a soul traveler. All right, the soul is eternal. Not only that, I'm an adventurer. So I find delight in learning, in finding out things. All right. I also consider myself a scholar by way of being an adventurer, learning about the things that I come across and then wanting to share it with the world. And this includes supernatural things that happen to me, all right, and as well as different things that I found out, information, because this world is much more than what they make it to us, because we are the slaves. And I want people to bury that into their minds, because you're much more powerful than you're made out to be. So, like I said in my old videos, I always have these things where I show Amber Alerts of people going missing. It's big business, all right? In human trafficking and all these different things. Some fall victim to petty murders and things of that nature. But the majority, this is a black market, all right? Human trafficking is one of the biggest things in this world of evil. Now, I thought human trafficking was due to sacrifices, sex and slave trade trafficking, and things of that nature, like organ harvesting and stuff like that. All of those things which are included. But I had no idea how far down the rabbit hole it goes. It goes very deep, and I believe that it's unending. So in my quest to be the Heru that I know I am, the Savior, to be a warrior, a hero, a true angel, right? Through these hardships, that's what we are. And I'm explaining, it gets so deep. There's facts behind this. I started looking up CIA files because I said in a few of my videos that it's 700,000 to 1 million people missing per year, men, women, and children. What's going on with this? You don't notice anything until you're a victim. But there's so much different things going on, so much different entities that we have to battle, even in the unseen. You have no idea. This is warfare. that we just don't know. So I get to looking up court cases, declassified CIA court cases on things of the nature. And I get to see in real life testimony from people working within government agencies, all right, and military agencies, high-ranking people in the military, intelligence, the Navy, and counterintelligence. So the people like the James Bond, License to Kill type people, you know, NSA and all these people. It's so much people that come forth in court, what you call whistleblowers, and it's being heavily suppressed because the thing is, whistleblowers can't get no protection, no proper protection from their own government, for one, and for two, they have to show solid proof. And you can't do anything if it's the government saying to the courts, well, the reason why we can't open these can of worms is because it's a matter of national security. You can't do anything, so the people lose. You get shunned out. You disappear. Nobody heard nothing. The news wouldn't push this, all right? You're sitting back waiting for the news to report many things, and it's so much people. They are books compiled of people's going to court, swearing, having to be under oath, having to be interrogated, held 48 hours, and interrogated for what they're going to do. And they're going to whistleblow, and they're going to tell the world what they are witness to, what they were a part of. But we don't know anything about this until you read it, until it's been declassified. So I'm reading a lot of CIA declassified things of why people are going missing, and the rabbit hole just busts open from right there. First off, you remember I said I seen a lady shapeshift at my job, right? Into a reptilian with the eyes. Alright. The people. There was a case, right? So let me tell you first off, there's a lot of things that go into the Illuminati and different factions of fraternal orders. This world is ran fraternally. This is a fraternal world. Everything that I explained is going to come up, and it's been coming up. All right, all because I opened up the can of worms looking for what's happening to millions of people, even till this day, missing per year, men, women, and children. They're different agencies, right? You got the CIA, you got the NSA. You know, the NSA is basically, you know, wiretaps and doing all these different things. But there's another one, all right, that's partnered with Stanford University. They do experiments on different things, and there's another one that's on the same level as the CIA and the NSA. I forgot, it's called SIACS or something, some abbreviations. And they specialize in, you know, they License to Kill, they like 007, real espionage spy stuff. Not only that, with Stanford University, they also in the scientific field, psychological warfare and stuff, and they mastered the art of what they call that? Remote viewing. Basically, they know how to send their soul, their spirit outside their body and travel to the past, present, or future to see different events and come back with reports while their body is there. Like, they're highly sophisticated with it. They got the cameras, they got all these different things that it's not like your local fake psychic that tells you read your palm or do something and, you know, may get it, may not get it. This is highly classified military. Alright? Black budget. They have a department, an agency on the same level as the CIA and the NSA, real high espionage, James Bond stuff, that their agents and military soldiers, they do remote viewing. They send their bodies out and they do these things, and they come back with longitude, latitude stuff. They go to the moon, they go in many different places, and they come back and report, and they have exact longitude, latitude map locations of these places. Like, they map it out. It's facts. All right, they don't play. They get it straight from that source. They have the technology and everything to a T, towards you can astral project your body. That's how they know the soul really exists. But the thing is, they keep the majority, the pop society, dumbed down, not knowing anything but work, money. If you notice, there's a lot of people that's pushing money and all these different things because it's an endless cycle of nothingness. So the doctor who was doing these tests decided to be a whistleblower, and he was talking about one of his patients that he did it on. They ran the tests on at this lab in Antarctica, and he said that they had an expedition where they found these beings, these Martians, these true Martians. And I'm going to show you what the Martians look like. Funny enough, I have this book on the whole thing right here with them, about them. The elongated heads, they're melanated. And they found them in Antarctica, because legends and stuff that the military and all this followed from Hitler, and they found out to be true. So what ended up happening is they called these people the pre-Adamites. Alright, they were a little bit taller than regular humans. They were tall. Their head were elongated, as you see in ancient Kemet or ancient Egypt. Alright, the ancient pharaohs and stuff like that, they had these elongated heads and stuff, the melanated people. Alright, that's because they were from Mars. Alright, so the naval intelligence psychologist, he had to be evaluated and interrogated and held for 48 hours and stuff like that, and because he wanted to be a whistleblower. And he was stating that, these people are here, they wanted to know more about the pre-Adamites, is what they call them, because it was true. They found them here, frozen. All right, a lot of them frozen, and they go into the story of what happens and all. It was crazy. I'm like, how the hell I went into, looking up missing people, and I thought it was just rituals with the demons and people, the government knowing about this, which they're doing. But this is a whole new level. It's going to get even deeper. So the doctor said that, the naval psychologist said that the pre-Adamites, before the time of Adam and Eve and all this stuff, they came here, the time, prehistoric times and before that. All right, and they came from Mars. And what ended up happening is Mars used to be a moon of another planet just like Earth, but it was bigger, and the government calls it Super Earth, and it got destroyed by the inhabitants of Mars, which were the people of the people they called pre-Adamites. All right, and they were their ancient names. There's something else, and it means ancient builders. They were builder of like cities and worlds and stuff like that. All right, the people that I showed you, the melanated people with the elongated heads, they were a specific melanated group from Mars, and they got into it with their Earth because they were a moon. Mars used to be a moon, and this has been verified by naval intelligence that yes, Mars used to be a moon of a planet that got destroyed, and now is the asteroid belt within our planetary system. The asteroid belt that we have in our planetary system, yes, it used to be a planet, a super Earth is what they called it. and they got into a high-tech war with the pre-Adamites of Mars, and they ended up destroying that planet. But the Earth, the super Earth people, ended up destroying part of Mars. That's why you see the red desert looking side of Mars, but there's another side also, but it still has life and water and different things. That's why when you see the pictures, you remember the old pictures on the news, when you see these large colossal faces, imagery of faces, those are buildings of faces and pyramids and stuff like that. All right, same here and same up there, the same structures and different things like that. In fact, Mars, damn near, there's Mars caverns and lakes and rivers that almost like mirrors Earth's at the same time. With that being said, the super Earth, it ended up destroying a part of Mars and destroying the atmosphere, making the atmosphere inhabitable, deadly. The atmosphere was weakening and dying. So they were dying out, and they had to flee Mars. So what ended up happening is they went to our moon. This is crazy. It sounds like a science fiction movie, but this is straight out of declassified cases that I'm reading from different intelligence and counterintelligence people that's coming forth, people with high rank. Like, look, you can't silence all of us. It's so many people that's being suppressed. The news ain't coming out with this, and I ain't talking about back in the days. Certain things I'm talking about is as recent as like 2015, 16, 17. All right, so with these cases, so they were saying that on the moon, they landed on the moon in these large motherships, 3 of them, a mile long, each of them, right? And they got into it with the reptilians and stuff like that as well also, and they was believed by naval intelligence and the CIA that the pre-Adamites got into it with reptilians on the moon, or the natural inhabitants of the moon, and they fled here. They got into a war and they had to flee, and the nearest closest planet to the moon, our moon, was our Earth, and they went to Antarctica. And Antarctica at the time was very volcanic, and in fact Antarctica has more volcanoes than any other place in the world. But there was a polar shift, and it messed everything up, because they crash landed in Antarctica. At the time, Antarctica wasn't inhabited by ice. It was a flash freeze that ended up happening. And the flood. So when the floods came, all right, they talk about this pole shift and all of this stuff. That's real. They talked about that in court. Document files on. So when the Great Flood came, before the Great Flood came, it was at least 22 different species of different humanoid types here. It was the Nordics, the Palladians, you had the pre-Adamites, the melanated species of extraterrestrial humanoids, if you will, high advanced in technology, all right, with their space disc and all of that, and they can read minds and do all these different things. And what some of these people noticed talking to some of them is that not only they can read minds, they have a liquid, all right? They have a liquid called Vril. And the Vril that's why Hitler named the society, the Fourth Reich named it the Vril Society, all right? It's the Thule Society, and within that is the Vril Society, all right? That's an inner circle of these beings working together with the pre-Adamites and stuff like that, and different beings and stuff like that. So there's a liquid that's called Vril. I don't know if it comes from human beings, but you remember that part in Jupiter's Ascending when the highly advanced humanoids that look like us, but they were highly advanced and from another planet, and came on their ships. They said they extract whatever liquid that it was from humans and they keep them living forever and longer, and it's exotic. So they use us for different things, right? This is real. And it's told that whoever drinks that liquid, depending on their level of will, their free will power that they have, they can activate kinetic powers and stuff like that. And that liquid is so powerful that if you put it in like a wand type of device, they was talking about like a wand, you can destroy cities just by waving it. So it's many different things that are legend that the military are spending on, and it's corporate. They hide it from you and put it in a Disney form where they make it fake with the wand flashing, Hollywood fashion and all these different things, but there's a lot of truth to it. So I'm reading on and on. They get to saying that there are 22 different species that corrupted our DNA with theirs in the humans, in the early humans, and developed us in many different things. And if you see within different cultures, you see it used to be these gods that used to live long, thousands of years and reign as kings and pharaohs and queens and princes and all this stuff for long eras of time. And then after they were explaining how it went from the gods ruling man, and then after they intertwined with women, with human women, and made demigods. So the demigods ruled over man after the departure of the gods. Okay, and then after the demigods, they had children, which people call, the Illuminati in different places and stuff like that, in high places. All right, so their descendants are ruling us right now. Us human beings, humanity. And I was shocked to find out that as I was looking for the 700,000 to 1 million people missing per year, there are people that's coming forth from the government and they're saying that people, this needs to stop now. I'm thinking that they're talking about, there's like globally, like they need, like human trafficking needs to stop globally and in the Milky Way galaxy. I was like, what the fuck? Hold on. So this human trafficking shit that I always talk about, in periodically I show Amber Alerts and different things. I always state that it's about 1 million people or so missing per year. Now you mean to tell me this shit, they take people on these anti-hover crafts and shoot on out to the Milky Way, where there's a human trafficking station out there for exotic creatures, and humans are one of them, by the millions. No wonder they have sports and jobs and all these different things to cover these things up. And the court case went into so much that they couldn't open up different things because there was so much people involved in high-ranking places that it would just open up everything, and it'd just be like, we might as well be locked up with whoever you doing because we so much in bed with each other. It went into JFK, like the reason why he got killed is because he found out what was going on with the Illuminati and the different things, and he wanted to work with the USSR, and they had to take him out because, it's an arms race with this military stuff, man, this high technology from different things. All right, so like I was saying, one of the government agencies, all right, the high up ones, the ones with the license to kill, right, they were explaining in court that technology was given to them, the ones that they used to spy on humanity, to spy on America and all these different places, countries and different places, were given to them by the Palladians and the Nordics. And the technology, they have a machine that can go in and out, disappear at will on its own. All right, and it is followed by a device that constantly rotates and goes around it, that probes, and that probe, it zooms through different dimensions. He said it zooms through different dimensions and pulls out, and it spies on you from a different dimension. It can be right in your home, but in a different dimension, spying on you. I'm reading this from the damn cases, declassified. People are coming out. Shout out to them people that come out and explaining this. So when I talk about the light, you remember I told you the light is on a mission doing many things. You see, they be shooting at the light and all these different things because the light is trying to, it's more than a light, but you see the energy, that's the power. But these are spiritual beings. They spoke about that too. There are many different beings here, and they all want a piece of the humans. So it's different factions. The thing is, the goal of the Illuminati, there are so much different factions on Earth because there are different beings that sent their descendants, their human subordinates out in different parts to rule over humans. Right? So you have different families that represents the different families that their bloodlines to, connected to these different aliens. So you have the pre-Adamites with elongated heads. The Illuminati knows that they're in Antarctica. They have a mothership because pre-flood, there was a great flood that happened, and they found their bodies, like the scientists found their bodies recently, like in 2016, 2017. 15, 16, 17-ish, right? So they did remote viewing to find out more of what's going on and where they came from and all these different things and stuff like that, all right? Because they got bloodlines that's been here, that's set up, the people in the Illuminati and different stuff like that. And you got the Vatican, they found the 3 elongated skulls of a pre-Adamites that was in Peru, along with some different technology and different things in Peru. The Pope has it right now. They have it at the Vatican in Rome to show that this is a different species of humanoid, not of this world. So when the flood came, the pre-Adamites, what they did was they just, a lot of them got murdered from the waters, from the floods, but a lot of them went back to their motherships. And you remember their motherships could fly in the sky and all that. They were a mile long, huge. And one is rumored to be underwater somewhere in one of the oceans. One is in Antarctica, and it's a third one somewhere around. Could be in the sky, who knows? Could be in the desert somewhere. Alright? I'm reading all this like, this shit is crazy. This shit is crazy. And they were showing how they're explaining that the reptilians, they were at war with the pre-Adamites. See, the thing is, all of them were doing experiments on human beings. It's just that some of them weren't warring with each other because they were superior in technology and spirituality. Because you remember, spirituality and technology, science, all goes together. It's just that They separated from us to keep us, divide and conquer. You divide much more than just the physical people itself. You divide everything, and everything is one. Divine science comes with spirituality and mathematics and science put together. And we would be so advanced, but they don't want that. They want us as the slave class. All right? So you have the Fourth Reich, Hitler. You remember, Hitler escaped and he was rumored to fly down to Brazil. He actually died in Brazil, they said. And a lot of them went and retreated to Antarctica, right? They had all this technology and stuff. The reptilians are in rulership, and there are many different classes of reptilians. The ones that hate us the most are the Draconians. Alright, this is the ones that the Nazi and the Illuminati, they conspire with. And they were going into, when you see these UFOs floating on top of the White House and stuff like that, certain times in different years and stuff like that, those be them coming to visit their subordinates. They have technology that would destroy anything that this government has. But on the flip side, the government itself has this technology because they're in cahoots. You remember, it was President Bush's grandfather that helped aid Hitler in the war. It's all family. The main reason is because that everybody want that technology from Atlantis, which is Antarctica. To this day, Antarctica, the volcanoes are the ice is starting to melt from Antarctica, and they're doing excavations like crazy. They just don't put it in the news like that. You gotta dig deep for that. Governments are fleeing down there to get the rest of this hidden technology. Like I said, you remember the movie, the first Guardians of the Galaxy, or the second one, when he met his father, and he went inside of the that was the second one, when he went inside of that egg-shaped UFO thing that was quiet and it moved so swift, and then it opened up, and then you seen the ladder come out so incredibly and all that. This is what they use to travel down in the down deep underground in Antarctica and many different things where they crash landed. They have the technology. Their body anatomy, they were saying, changed. They got weaker when they came to this planet, so they had to rely heavily on their technology. But I think the reptilians had weather modification technologies too, and they made a flash freeze come up in Antarctica and froze the whole post, like the melanated aliens that came from the melanated Martians, right, or the pre-Adamites. They had different forts in different areas of the world and in different parts of Antarctica. But it was an attack, a weather attack from the reptilians, and froze everything and did it. It's so deep, and I'm just reading this shit like, and look at what we doing, being the slaves that we are. You know? They went into souls and everything. It was so crazy. So the New World Order, their plan is to make all these different factions of aliens say like, alright, fuck it. We just gonna all click up together on the humans and become this one world order. The different factions are gonna click together in alliance. Guess who's still the bottom of the food chain? Guess who's on the menu? Humanity. But they're not counting on the source, the light, the all-seeing light, the power, the true most high of all. That's why I say the powers of the light. There's light, they're God being, they're gods of light gods and stuff like that. That there's a whole order that comes with the light that's very powerful beyond anything they can produce. It's way more spiritual than technological. Highly advanced. The CIA was specifically talking briefly about the higher, they call them the higher dimensional beings. Like, they couldn't even go too much into explanation with it. They just called them that, and they were like, they're here, but we don't. They're so vast beyond the reach. That's what I'm saying. They're at war with the gods of light, with the light gods, and the Most High. All these different type of beings and stuff, the Nordics, Palladians, and all that. They might be cool, but like I said, they don't give a damn about humans. We're like ants to them. Like, yeah, we could step on y'all. We corrupted y'all DNA and stuff like that. We fucked y'all up a long time ago. That's basically the just. We have anti-gravity technology and all this stuff here. But our bloodlines and stuff in the Illuminatis and different fraternal orders, we got them ruling y'all. So y'all ain't gonna know none of this shit. Y'all ain't privy to none of this. That's why I seen that lady shapeshift at my job, man, at my previous job, y'all. So I know it's real. This shit ain't no game, because I even experienced that shit. Motherfucker shapeshifting in front of me. So I talk a lot about these things, and I witness the light. And the light is very spiritual and it's physical. With technology and different crafts of anti-gravity and whatever too, highly advanced, way higher than the Draconians, way higher than the pre-Adamites. All these people were doing that we think our ancestors. When we see them on the wall and all these things, that's why I don't trust nothing but the Most High. Because when we seen these things on the walls, those could very well be the same creatures that were testing on our DNAs, changing, manipulating us and all that for their benefits. It might hurt because you might see the color of their skin reminds you of ours, but not all of them had the same heart. Humans were already on Earth when these people were down here. That's what they're telling us. We've been here. So they're lying how long we've been here. How short of a period. When they're finding people over 1 million years old and stuff like that. That's to show you this thing is bigger than race. The Nordics did test on humans, and theirs white as snow. The Palladians, white as snow. The pre-Adamites look like me, long heads and stuff like that. Brothers and sisters did experiments on us, on our DNA. About 22 of them. The reptilians did experiments. We continue to be the slaves and just work for them. And it's the corporations. You see, the post office ain't federal. None of this stuff is really federal. The Federal Reserve ain't federal. We work for corporations. We die and live for corporations. We slave for these corporations that own us, that got this high-level technology, that are actually like these Amazons and all this, posing as these commercialized companies that's for the benefit of, advancing commercialized things, the modifications of home and living, when they're actually into defense contracting and stuff like that. They have the high weapon alien weapons of mass destruction and stuff, and they're going to different planets in these highly advanced technologies, and they have super advanced technologies and stuff like this, right? And they know about these other beings, and they know about the true history of this planet. The records in the pyramids that had detailed accounts on discs of wars fought over the earth and humans. That's why the military guards a lot of these places now, there's wormholes that go from North America, right? For ships and different things to come from different galaxies and planets, and they come through the wormhole and they pop up at the North Pole and they leave out through the South Pole, the wormhole in the South Pole, which is Antarctica. So you come in through different galaxies in a black wormhole in Antarctica, and then after in Antarctica you leave out and go to different places, and they have the coordinates. This is why you see in ancient paintings of Michelangelo and D'Angelo, you notice the Ninja Turtles are names of famous Greek painters and all these different stuff like that. It's a coincidence. The history grows up with you on purpose, and then after you see their pictures, you see little references of UFOs in the background of ancient pictures and stuff. They've been around with their flying discs and stuff like that. They're here now. This is crazy. Just imagine you in a place where you can't do nothing about it physically. So like I always say, this is a war. This is a war between different factions of fraternal orders and the Illuminati and the Vatican and all this, and the different aliens and all these different stuff that look like us. They got this technology that'll just destroy everything, but they rule. They use it to rule us. Imagine you being kidnapped one day and you being put on one of these highly advanced ships to be taken out into the Milky Way to be sold. What the fuck? Do you think there's any hope for us in the physical? I don't even know, man. And they talked about the Saturn aliens. The people from Saturn are peaceful. They were talking about how the Earth people can be so advanced if they let us free from these greedy rulers. There's a stone that when weatherized, I don't know how, but through weatherization, I don't know if it's metamorphic or, or whatever, sedimentary or however, but it turns to metal, a certain type of metal that can be used for anti-hovercrafts. Like I'm reading all this in disclosed, declassified case files, facts. And when you start reading from people's accounts who just give up everything, they give up their life to be whistleblowers, and we just ignore the shit out of them because it ain't on CNN, it ain't on Fox, it ain't on whatever the Illuminati and these families want you to know news. So now when I sit back and I hear anybody else conversation about what goes on at work, who said what about who, or who ain't doing this and who ain't, it just be so petty. It's like, do you know the shit that I know that's what's going on? No wonder they use us as chattel.